Hello everyone, welcome to our another Tech Talk session. I'm Sargam Tiwari from Tech Jobs Fair, and today we have our special guest, Mr. Awais Kamran, for our session. Awais is an senior software engineer and has more than 9 years of experience as a software engineer in designing and developing scalable products in multiple sectors. And today we will be talking about navigating software engineering landscape in 2023, and we will also cover some various topics like Web 3.0, artificial intelligence, and many things. So, hi, Avais, how are you doing?
Hey Sargam, hi everybody. Thank you for having me. I'm good and hope you're doing good as well.
Yeah, I hope everyone is doing well. And first of all, thank you for joining this session. And so, moving forward to our today's topic, Avais, why would you tell us a bit about you, what you do, and about your journey, especially as a software engineer?
Yeah, sure. Pleasure to be with you and collaborating with you. So yeah, you already know a bit about me, as Sargam introduced. I'm a software engineer with over 8+ years experience. My bachelor's and my post graduation is from Pakistan, and I started from like a very small startup which was based on cricket, and eventually I progressed into a more product oriented platforms. I have like collaborated with so many companies, so um, on educational platforms, real estate platforms, sports platforms, B2B sector, and B2C as well. So I've been around quite a lot in the whole software engineering landscape, as you might state. And it's been a journey for sure, starting from the scratch and being here in Berlin and working for the, like one of the most popular firms here. And alongside, I believe I've learned a lot. And alongside, I also believe that there's a part of me that wants to give away some bits of my knowledge. And I've been doing that while collaborating with different e-learning platforms around the world. uh, I do tech speaking as a hobby, and it's just a thing that just got stuck with me for a while, and I started to enjoy it. Eventually, I started to enjoy going to different platforms, speaking over there regarding different technologies, mentoring students regarding different technological aspects, and programming languages, to be more precise. So
Mm.
it's been a journey for me, and yeah, I love collaborating with such platforms where we can talk about technological aspects and people can benefit, eventually from the little bits of do's and don'ts that I believe, uh, that I've gone through and experienced. So yeah.
Oh, very interesting journey. So, how long have you been in Berlin? I mean, from Pakistan when you moved?
Uh, yeah, it's been like over a year that I've been working with you know uh, Berliners, as we call them. So,
Hmm.
uh, and it's been an interesting shift. It's been a challenging shift, and the culture of Berlin and culture of Pakistan varies tremendously,
Hmm.
professionally and personally, both. Um, but I believe professionally, it's a big, bump where you can learn from so many, talented software engineers and architects, and it just gives you a better perspective. It just gives you a better perspective of how, we can still build better products and progress with them and handle challenging situations. And also, interestingly, what I believe something that is lacking in the subcontinent is the eye for artificial intelligence, because people here, the companies here, have already been data driven, and they've been experimenting with a lot of different artificial intelligence aspect or data related aspect. uh, so I believe that the approach itself is very interesting, and I it's been a huge learning curve for me as an engineer.
Yeah, great. So, your complete background is from, I can say, software engineer, right? So, if I talk about a particular in this landscape, so, in your opinion, what have been the, what kind of, impactful changes that you have seen in this domain?
Yeah, I believe in the past 5 years, software engineering landscape has shifted tremendously. Even if you talk to engineers who have been a part of the journey, I would say start with Android engineers, people who are building mobile apps, native mobile apps. And there have been like multiple technologies that have taken over one by one, and
Mhm.
all these engineers have adapted to those programming languages one by one, to move ahead with the market, to move ahead with the products. And that is an interesting shift to start with. And then within these 5 years, I've also seen companies moving towards machine learning methodologies, adapting them to bulletproof their existing business model, and to even progress their business model in a more dynamic and a more adaptive way. Interestingly, a lot of companies uh, have also benefited from that, from this particular approach, and they have uh, set a landmark in terms of applying methodologies, and eventually present themselves as a footprint that the world can follow. And I mean, Chat GPT is just a tip of an iceberg. And
Yeah,
it's been like the new buzzword, but the buzzword of machine learning and deep learning has always been there. Alongside, I
yeah,
also see this really interesting shift in Web 3.0. In the semantic web domain, there's a lot of work being done. Uh, I would also like to add that my post graduation thesis was based on it, and it's just another Pandora box that's waiting for the new age engineers out there. And
mhm,
with decentralization and cryptocurrency, that's just like a separate domain, but that's also one addition that has given engineers and software engineers a new you know breed of technologies and a breed of software engineering products. So in these 5 years, last 5 years, 6 years to say, uh, the changes have been pretty rapid, and they've taken place like one over the other, head over the head. And it's interesting to see that where we are headed right now, and interesting times ahead for
mhm.
everybody.
Correct. So, I'm also interested that you have mentioned in these two technology here. That is, first one is ChatGPT and second one is Web 3.0, right?
Yeah.
Uh, so, if I talk about Web 3.0, right? So, what do you think, or how do you see the future it is shaping? I mean, this particular technology. If I talk about only about the Web 3.0.
So Web 3.0 is more about ownership. Is about removing third parties and just an ownership from a user. And if a user is providing certain services, then that particular user should have it all. Why include third parties? So that's just a general idea, or the general trend that eventually began. But it's just, if you see the horizon itself, we have semantic web, as I mentioned. It's like data on the web, but you have meaning of that data that also exists. For example, whenever you opt out to make an e-commerce website, the very first thing is you'll hire an engineer or a couple of engineers. They would use the same recurring template that exists over different programming languages. Some would start writing it from the scratch. Uh,
mm,
But what if those kind of templates of e-commerce stores, educational websites, library, management systems, or even supply chain management systems already just exist on the web, and you just have to use it? Just have to you just have to know a few technological aspect to build upon it, more like customization, but the base
yeah,
already exists there. So that's the initial idea of semantic web, that you have certain ontologies that belong to different fields like education, supply chain, and etc etc, and you can eventually leverage these ontologies into building platforms and even customizations. So that eases a software engineer's job to, I believe, a lot. And that's an initial idea. And with the introduction of NFTs and different cryptocurrency platforms, people are moving towards blockchain oriented uh, products. For example, this I was reading about this IBM's Food Trust product, which is totally based on blockchain, and they're still working on it. They have, I
yeah,
believe, they have a date in which they'll pilot this product, and it's quite interesting because that changes the agriculture as we know it. Uh,
yeah,
so the idea is that the food you eat, how much you trust it. But what if you have some sort of transparency regarding your food? What if the exact milestones that your food has taken from being picked up from a farm to being processed or slaughtered, or processed in some other format, and then being delivered to you? So that sort of branches out to even more domains. It branches out to domains like medicine. For example, if somebody got sick by eating a certain food, then it can be traced back, and you can actually do a lot of research over it, that how this
mm,
particular disease got spread into multiple people if the source was one food item. So I believe
yeah,
these kind of concepts are pretty interesting and very engaging. And I believe, as far as I've experimented with a few certain technological grounds, I believe it's not that difficult. It's just that you just have to adapt to it, and you just have to be a bit creative while thinking about the products in the newer age today.
yeah. And we have also seen, in banking sector as well, how widely it is using this blockchain technology to,
Yeah.
payment, maybe payment secure or
Yeah.
something kind of stuff. So yeah, definitely. Okay, so moving forward, if I talk about more about on software engineering, so it's also like one of the top skills of 2023. We can say it's artificial intelligence, right? So
Yeah.
how can a software engineer, you can say, prepare for artificial intelligence as a skill side?
Uh, Interesting question. And that's, I believe, the most asked question. The thing is, artificial intelligence is like a whole idea in itself. It's like a massive field comprising of small subfields. Uh, to lay a foundation, it's more about how. So let's talk about the basic concept. So artificial intelligence is more about a machine knowing what to do. A machine may be replacing a human being with a thought process, with a conscious, and how eventually they can translate certain bits of information into a perceivable action that can eventually help a process or a bundle of processes. I believe the very first step that I believe every engineer should take uh, today, or in these new times, in these transitioning times, is to learn a bit more about data itself, how the data can be processed, because that is the first step. Without data, you cannot have a model or a robot, or you need data to actually train computers. So knowing how to sort of play around with the data and knowing that what tools you can use to play around with that data is, I believe, essential in these times. And then the next step would be to learn about a bit about machine learning itself, that what it is, because that's like the first step towards artificial intelligence. Sorry, the first step would be the data analysis. The second step would be learning more about what machine learning applications are. How can you build a machine learning model? And it's pretty easy, I believe. The cloud platforms today, Google or Amazon platforms as well, have really created this ease where you don't have to write the models yourself. There are pre-defined models that you can use, you can train, and you can reuse them into multiple applications. But before that, I would really encourage everybody to have some ground knowledge about machine learning itself. And when we talk about machine learning, there's this mathematical aspect about it as well. But once you dive into it, you can go from one step to another. uh, I believe these are like the entry blocks if you want to develop some sort of a skill regarding artificial intelligence. And another next step after learning a bit about machine learning would be that you can take a route of learning a bit more about natural language processing, uh, which also makes like an essential part of our applications today. If we talk about ChatGPT and
Mhm.
Alexa, and I can go Siri, so many of them. So
Mhm.
with these three additions of skills, it might give you a better perspective that how you would approach an application like this. So yeah, that's that's my suggestion, and at
Okay.
least that's the route that I
Any
took.
particular? Yeah, definitely. So any particular, sources that you would like to mention here for this kind of preparation?
Yeah, sure. I believe there are quite a lot of great courses, free courses as well, that you just have to find on YouTube. I believe there's one regarding MIT coursework, and then there's one of the most popular courses by Stanford regarding machine learning. I think you can find it on Coursera, and
Yeah.
uh, alongside, I believe if you want to take the mathematical route, you might have to rework on some linear algebra, and and different mathematical aspects. There are quite a lot, but you will find it eventually once you dive into it. I
Hmm.
believe probability also makes a huge part of it, because it makes a huge part of machine learning and different models
Correct.
that it machine learning comprises of. So having such kind of coursework settled would be great, and they're quite approachable. Uh, One interesting tip is that there are quite a lot of certifications being given away from Amazon and Google Cloud as well. But those are, I believe, those are a bit encapsulated. They don't really give away underlying details. Uh, you would have to learn the underlying details yourself, and then you can move to these platform-oriented certifications. So yeah,
Correct. Yeah, because at if you are at early stages, then definitely I think YouTube is the best medium, right? And
yeah,
then later on you can move forward for Coursera and other platforms where
yeah.
you can get very depth knowledge about each and every sort of skill, right?
It's
So
just like learning about programming. For example, I there are people who would jump into these certifications and would claim that they know everything about machine learning or deep learning. But there's just so much. There's one thing about using a tool and knowing how to use a tool, and then there's another factor that how you can leverage a particular tool. You can only leverage it if you know the underlying or under the hood details. And for that details, you have to take a little bit longer route in learning, the mathematical aspect and probabilistic aspects of machine learning and artificial intelligence in a general view.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you so much, Awais. So before moving forward, I would like to mention here if anyone have any question related to our topic or software engineering or any kind of if you would like to make career in it. So yeah, we are here. So Awais is here, so we can definitely include this question. Yeah, Awais?
Yeah, I think I'm pretty approachable guy when it's come to seeking help, and I've been doing that for quite a while, so happy to do it.
Yeah. So let's talk about a little bit about we can say recruiters, right? Because tech jobs were basically bridging the gap between the recruiters and the job seekers, right? And if I talk about here as a recruiter, so how should any recruiter or company, they should react on the current situation that we have seen in the economic fallout, right? So,
Yeah.
what's your view in this?
Yeah, it's 2022 had been a crazy year. We're still experiencing some part of it, given the economic fallout, companies being affected through it, and massive layoffs by uh, even the big tech firms. That's
Yeah,
saddening, and that's also alarming, and that's also a piece of time that we can learn from. Now, how we can sort of learn from it, I know a lot of engineers out there. We talk about security a lot, we talk about settling in a lot, settling in into a job or in a particular role. I believe these are times when you really have to be adaptive, when you really have to welcome the challenge. Relying or residing in a comfort zone, I don't think that's an option within these kind of times. So it's okay if you have like 6+ years of experience and you still have to go to lead code and practice certain questions. I know it feels a bit depressing sometimes, that even going back there, but that's how the processes are, and that's okay. You learn a thing or two. There's no harm in it, and it also gives you a perspective that where your algorithmic skills stand. And even uh, sometimes when I go to lead code, back to lead code, and practice a bit, it surprises me as well that hey, I think I'm a bit rusty, and that's okay to acknowledge that and to work on that. That's the beauty of it. So
yeah,
I believe a lot of engineers they shy away from it, and they are a bit reluctant, or they might feel a bit insecure while doing it. That also creates certain sort of friction, or you know a source of uneasiness between dealing with recruiters. At least I know certain such experiences from different individuals. So I believe the best way to tackle it is to you know be in the game. And how you can be in the game is to keep polishing your skills, learning new skills, being more adaptive towards the technological landscapes, all these fields that we have discussed. It's okay if you just if you can just go and explore a bit about them. It's no harm. It's the world we are living in, and it's the applications that we are using in our everyday lives, and there is no harm in learning a bit from them. And also I believe some rusty software engineers might not really put an effort into developing their network, which is the biggest part of the game right now. I believe working with the right recruiters can really help, you know, just rocket up your career just like that. And it's just the matter of time, and it's the matter of having the right people with you. And because I know a lot of great recruiters who have helped a lot of individuals during these difficult times, and That's about it. You just have to invest a bit into your LinkedIn circle or your professional circle. Get connected to, like-minded recruiters, like-minded people, like-minded companies out there, because there are a lot of opportunities out there. You just have to find the right bridge for yourself, and that bridge can be a recruiter. That bridge can be a particular skill. That bridge can be a particular certification as well. You just have to go out there and put in some work. So that's a message for all the software engineers. And for the recruiters is, I believe they already know, dealing with people, with, under the situation of these massive layoffs. It's been a challenge for recruiters as well, is to filter the right guy, the
Yeah,
next guy, or to sort of match the role. I believe, currently, I believe, there are a lot of people saying this, and I sort of agree to it, is that having a process that prolongs for like 4 steps in an interview is a lot under these circumstances.
hmm,
I have gone through processes with 6 steps, 4 steps, 5 steps as well, and that's okay, because eventually I do get it. Recruiters or companies really have to, make sure that the guy they're hiring is the right hire for them or the team.
yeah,
So that's, I understand that, I get that. But under these times where a lot of people have been affected, thousands of people have been affected or are being affected, like every single day. It would be great if companies could really rethink, or come up with a interview process that lasts for like 2 rounds, 3 rounds at max. I believe, that really gives hope to, the candidate as well, and it's less cumbersome for both of them, the recruiter and the applicant as well. So I don't know if recruiters have that kind of privilege to sort of, uh, build cert build this process, because it's part of the company. Uh, but it's what it is. I mean, it would be a
yeah.
good change.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, we have also, if I talk about Texas Fair, so here at Texas Fair, we have also built a platform for making this recruitment process easy, right, for
Yeah.
recruiters. So, this is a reverse recruitment platform, a very interesting, thing that we have
Hmm.
implemented here.
Hmm.
So, here at the platform name is Hightech Talent. So, maybe you
Hmm.
can also go through it, hightechtalent.com. So at
Okay.
High Tech Talent, any job seekers, they don't have to apply multiple companies, right?
Hmm.
What usually we have to do for if I'm looking for job, I'll have to apply multiple portals, right, or something, right? To multiple companies, I'll have to send my resume, right? But
Yeah.
here at High Tech Talent, or a job seekers only have to create their profile one time, and once their profile will get approved, then they can, I mean, recruiters can directly contact with them and they can
Yeah.
schedule the interview. Yeah.
That's more
So this is
convenient,
the,
because
yeah,
I've seen a lot of such messages on LinkedIn that, I've been laid off and I can't find the next job. They just put laid off within the headlines. Uh, Not a big fan of that, but I would just advise, to, if you're not getting offers, in terms of, uh, new positions, or to interview new positions, and somewhere might be wrong. It might be your profile that's lacking, and you might want to work on it, or it might be, the skills that you're lacking. You again might want to work on that, or it might be a network that might be lacking the right people that you can reach out to, or such platforms would be great, and they're quite convenient, as you mentioned, because once you know that, there's everything is good to go in terms of your CV or resume. I believe from there onwards, it's more easier for the candidate and for the recruiters as well. And
yeah,
yeah, I believe, over the span of last year or last 2 years, I believe such platforms have really flourished. And um, it's a good takeaway for both
Yeah.
sides.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, otherwise, I think we are running out of time here. So
Yeah.
maybe we'll have to end this session here. But many thanks for you to and everyone who have joined this session. And I hope these insights about Web 3.0, AI, software engineering, and layouts what we have covered today. I hope this will help our many viewers, right? And yeah, otherwise, if you would like to add anything from your end.
Uh, yeah, I believe if you feel like you want to look for new opportunities, or if you're affected by the recent layoffs, I believe uh, Sargam Tiwari with the team are organizing this really great event in Berlin. If you are in Berlin and if you're watching this, maybe you can drop by on 2nd of November. I'll be there as well, and I believe it would be a great show, and it would be a great time to learn more about the community and more about uh, different individuals as well. And I believe stuff like this is always a learning experience. For me, definitely. If nothing else, then you get to connect with quite a lot of people. It's
Yeah.
good for your network. It's good for your future in every shape or way. So, uh, being a bit proactive in participating such events can also help you in your career, and can also help you in connecting you with the right people.
Definitely. Because the beauty of these events, you can directly connect with recruiters, right? You can
Yeah,
meet with
yeah, yeah,
them, face-to-face interactions. And I mean, there will
yeah.
be multiple speaker sessions as well. So where you can get the deep insights about the industry, what is the current situation of the market and how it went and what will be the next step.
Exactly.
So definitely it will be, many more things or many more, beneficial for recruiters and the job seekers as well. So yeah, you are all invited if you are in Berlin. So it will be at the Drivery location. So yeah, you can if you want to get the ticket, then you can get the ticket from the techjobsfair.com. And yeah, that's all. So thank you
Great.
so much, everyone, for joining us today. And that's the end of the session here. See you all in our next session. Till then, keep reading, keep learning, and enjoy your weekend. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Sergem, for having me, and everybody have a great day.
Yeah, bye bye.